Hello fellow crafters! This is going to be a quick tutorial just for folks first getting into jewelry making, and we're going to be showing you how to make two types of French hook ear wires. One is just this simple looped ear wire, you can see here, and then the other one we're going to be doing is a wrapped loop, and I've already put this on part of my earring, but you can see it's wrapped around the base there. So to start out, you're going to need a few different tools. You're going to need two chain nose pliers, and that just means they have the flat tips, as you can see there. And you'll need a pair of round nose pliers and your wire clippers. These are flush cutters, which just means that they make one end of the wire flat when you cut it. You will also be needing some wire. Now I'm using here 21 gauge silver filled wire. You can use any type of wire you like. I prefer 21 gauge because it provides more stability. It's a little bit thicker. You can also use 22 gauge. And this is going to be a half hard wire that I'm using as well. You can do dead soft, but your earring might get misshaped if you put anything too heavy on it. So again, this is 21 gauge half hard silver wire. And you will also be needing some type of fine sandpaper or an emery board like I have here. You could also use a file. And finally, you're going to need a ruler. Alright, so we're going to start out with our wire. And I'm just going to wind some of this off of the spool and straighten it out. And again, the half hard wire is going to have a little bit of spring to it, so I just like to go ahead and bend it gently the other way to get it nice and straight. I'm going to take my ruler. Now I find that for this basic ear wire, 1 7/8 inches works very well. So I'm just going to line it up flush there, hold it, and I like to put my thumbnail right at the beginning spot. Grab my flush cutters and just clip it off right there. Now you've already got this one, so I'm just going to line it up flush with that one. And again, clip it off with my clippers. So now I have your two wire pieces here. The next step is going to be to take your round nose pliers, and I'm selecting the end that I just clipped that has the flattened portion from the flush cutters. You can see when you use your flush cutters, one end will be flat. It's kind of small, I don't know if you can see it, but this end is more pointed. And you want to start with the flat end for your first loop. So I'm going to take my pliers, and you'll get the feel of this eventually. I usually like to make it about, I want to say 2 or 3 millimeters across is the width of that loop right there. So I'm starting about 1/3 of the way up my pliers. And I've gripped it very tightly in them. I'm going to start twisting it away from me. So I'm just making a circle with these. There we go. So you can see I've made a circle. Now that turned out a little bit large, so I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and just squeeze it a little bit smaller right there. Okay, now the next step, I'm going to flip it so the loop is down, grab the very top part of the loop with my chain nose pliers, and I'm going to bend the tail up so it's straight. There we go. And now my loop popped open a little, so I'm just going to close that back up again. Alright. Now I'm going to take my round nose pliers again, insert them into the loop, and you can see I have one end on the loop and one against the tail of the wire here. I'm going to bend the wire away from me again using the rounded portion of the pliers to make a nice little rounded kink in it right there. And I apologize for the glare of the lights here. I'm still figuring out my setup, so this is a work in progress. Alright, now you can see we have here the base. So then you're just going to simply take your round nose pliers again, grab the bottom of the loopy part there, and we're just going to twist it up and form the ear hook. And I'm trying to get the angle right here with the camera in front of me, so I apologize that it keeps getting blurry. When you're working with half-hard wire, you do have to be very careful not to bend it too sharply in one place, as it will leave a kink. If you're using dead soft, you don't really have to worry about that quite as much. Alright, so there you have your nice little loop. Now you could just take it at this point, cut off your desired length. I prefer to add a little extra straight portion. That just helps when inserting it into your ear, because you have a straight bit to aim level. So what we're going to do now is take your flat nose pliers, kind of just eyeball how long you want it to be, and then you're going to twist this, pull it to the side. And there you are. And then finally, this tail is a bit longer than I need, so I'm just going to take my clippers again, just eyeballing it, going to cut that off. Alright, and your final step, just real quickly, you have a rough edge here, just from cutting it. I like to file that down so it's more comfortable in the ear. So I'm just using the fine side of a nail file here, a clean one of course. I prefer using these to metal files because you can buy basically a pack of a dozen for under $1. And they're very fine, which is great for finishing off these ear wire tips. And I just go over it with my fingers, make sure it's going to be comfortable for inserting it, and there you have it. Now making your second one is going to be just the same, except you'll be comparing it to the first one you made, making sure they are as identical as you can get them. Otherwise, your earrings might be mismatched, one might be longer than the other, and you probably don't want that. Now, the beauty of these open loop ear wires is that you can actually make them ahead of time. Just get a stock of them prepared, kind of economies of scale, saving your time, and then you can actually open the loops later and attach them to your earrings whenever you make the earrings. So I'm just going to show you how I do that. I'm gripping, you can see here, the open side of the loop with my pliers, and then I like to just put my thumbnail really firmly here on the closed portion. You can see pressing it in my finger, and then I'm just going to use a twisting motion with the pliers to pull it up towards me. So you can see there I've opened the loop, and the reason I stabilize it with my thumb is so that the entire earring doesn't twist and get deformed. And I have here a little earring piece I've already made, and you can just very simply slide it onto your ear wire. So closing this back up very simply, you grab it again with your chain nose pliers, stabilize with your thumbnail, and twist it back shut.